Hello everyone, welcome to Source It Up. Today I wanted to do a review of what sold last week from the 11th through the 17th. We did about 6,700 in sales, so it was a very good week. I think this is my number 2 week of all time. So this was the first item that sold on the 11th, another lot of DVDs, a bunch of cards, Pokemon figure. Now this isn't even that big. There's some small figures that sell very well. Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a lot of different figures that do very well. Sonic figures. Here's a Nintendo GameCube memory card. So this is the cheapest it'll sell for. The black ones I think sell for a little more. But a lot of times when you get a GameCube, this is just an added bonus if it comes with a memory card. And I've tested hundreds of memory cards, and there was one that didn't work. So even from PS2 as well. This was some weird CD collection we got from one of our pallets. Always be looking that stuff up. That didn't take too very long to sell. A really cool vintage Brooks Brothers sweater. Has an older logo. This actually took a few months to sell, but it sold for 50 bucks. It was very good. Signed books. The keyword is signed or auto, A-U-T-O, short for autograph. Would be something, and this was how they paid for media mail. Usually we do either free shipping, or now we do $3 flat shipping on anything media mail that's under 3 or 4 pounds. This is just an empty trading card. So a lot of times we'll get cards in a binder like this. We'll take all the cards out and sell the binder separately if it's worth it. So this was, and we got an extra 10 bucks out of that. Well, $7 plus $3 shipping. This is pretty cool. It took a few months to sell, but it sold for $19.99. I think you got this for maybe $2. I save a lot of the empty deck boxes and empty Pokemon little card boxes. A lot of stuff that is kind of, it's not worthless, but it's just not worth a lot of money. A lot of them all up. I could have done it a little better. This was just sitting for a while. It's just some extra stuff, but we got a couple extra dollars out of it. There are some figurines that sell very well. I'm not sure where we got this, to be honest, but $22.99 for a little figure. That's pretty good. I believe this is porcelain. DVD set, and we just shoot down here. I'm just going to start from the top. It's easier. This was the day we had a lot of auctions ending, and all of these ended a minute apart, I believe, or actually these were seconds apart because I was listing them without doing scheduled listing, so it would save 10 cents a listing. It was just around that time of the night when I was going to list it anyway rather than scheduling it. So they were maybe 10 or 15 seconds apart, maybe a little longer. But a lot of these cards did very well, some of the holographic ones. And I'm able to ship this cheap because I do it with stamped mail. And yes, there is no tracking. Yes, I kind of gave up the idea of having top-rated seller. Honestly, it just puts a lot less stress on, getting things out perfectly and everything, and we do anyway, but it's just a little less stress. We don't really save that 10%, or get the little tiny boost in ranking, but we do just fine. And so as you can see here, some of them sell for a little less. So I get stamps for very cheap, and then the envelope's cheap, and the protector that the card stays in is very cheap. So even, let's say this takes us 30 seconds to pick, pack, and make $1, times it by 20, 30, 40, 50 a day, and it's just a way to part things out. And these were auctions, and I did blow these out. A lot of times the auctions for cards, depending on your international mail, will do better. And so international mail is crazy because you can get an international forever stamp for $1.15 and ship it anywhere in the world. So it's pretty cool. So I actually just charge $1.50 shipping, and I make more money shipping one of these cards international than I do domestic, because domestic the stamp is included. With international, they're paying an extra $1.50, and I get quite a few international orders. So this Power Ranger toys are excellent. This was actually a very this is like kind of a heavier one. It was really good quality. Got I think for $2.99 at Savers. Sold for $56 on an auction. Was awesome. A couple auctions didn't end. This actually just sold, I believe, yesterday. Didn't sell on the auction, so I put it up for $70 and it sold within a day. A lot of these PSA graded cards have been around for a very long time in my store, so I just started them at a 99-cent auction and sold them out. Same thing with this. As you can see, some of these cards get pretty expensive, the graded cards. I lotted some of the EX cards together. Sorry if I'm boring you with the cards. It's just, this is a niche, right? Some people do stamps, some people do coins, some people do baseball cards, some people do like little trinkets or cufflinks, or there's all sorts of like little collectible Boy Scout pins. There's so many little collectible things that people are looking for, that people collect, that are worth a lot of money. And it would be, beneficial to maybe look into one of them that you're even slightly interested in, because I've actually turned my interest in Pokemon cards into a very profitable venture for myself. So one that I can't keep up with, because there's so many more cards and deals out there than I can keep up with. I kind of had to scale back a little bit. I have probably 100 to 200,000 cards still that I have to sort through. It is ridiculous. But as I go through, I sell them, and I don't want to liquidate them, and if I ever needed money, I can. But some of these games, if they're a little more scratched, something I'm not comfortable selling on Amazon, because you can only test the game so much. You can't guarantee that the whole game works all the way through. So with games like that, we do test for a few minutes, make sure the loading screen works and it loads up to the game. We play for a few minutes, the ones that are really scratched, and then so it'll take a few minutes, and then we'll sell them on eBay rather than Amazon. And that, because I believe on eBay it is a lot easier to deal with unhappy people than it is on Amazon. Amazon, if they leave a negative feedback, it's much more weighty than as it is on eBay. With eBay, well, I'm not going to scroll the way up, but I have over 9,000 feedback. On Amazon, it's only a few hundred. So one negative feedback on Amazon is a lot more impact than on eBay. Plus, I believe on eBay, the customer service is dealt with by me, not Amazon, and I'm going to deal with it in a much better way, maybe even just giving them a full refund and making them happy, rather than selling it on Amazon. They're not happy and they leave that negative feedback. Excuse me. Woo. Let me drink some coffee here. So again, these 7-inch vinyls, very few of them sell individually, and if they do, you're going to want the picture sleeve with them, and they're going to have to be in excellent condition, and they're going to have to be of some popular bands, rock bands, or more recent stuff. So, or just particular artists, jazz, whatever, the popular expensive stuff that's in 12-inch regular vinyls. They're kind of the same stuff here with these, or you can just mix them up into, we put 2 capitals there, I noticed, but not a big deal. Or you can just lot them up in, in genres. We got some disco dance music here, and they sold. That's a great alternative then, rather than donating them, because you can't really sell them individual. Again, a couple cards here sold. These lots aren't doing as well as I anticipated, so what might happen is I might put a flat $20 price on them and just list a whole bunch and try and do unique titles for each one, so that I don't get duplicate listing issues. This was a card that I had a long time. I spent about $160 on it, so I'm glad to just get my money back. Book, nothing crazy here. This was something. This I couldn't find anywhere, but it was a really high quality reaming tool. So we listed it on a higher end of some similar things just because the quality was really there, but I couldn't even find this brand anywhere. So we listed it, and it sold in, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. So it was good. This again, it was open box, but it was unused. So we have it, I think, in like new or new other. And this sold almost immediately. And if you look, a lot of the completed listings, like a lot of the people haven't sold these for prices even higher than this, or similar, or even just a little bit lower. And for some reason, we were able to just sell this almost immediately. It must have been either luck or something going on here, but I was very happy about that. And we got this for $2 or $3.99 from Savers. Again, you guys can sell stuff. This had no battery. I don't even believe it had the battery cover, no charger, and it still sold for $40. We have other PSPs, so we just popped in another battery and tested it. So it was tested and worked. I think in lots or auctions, I will just put a flat $10 to $15 that I'm willing to pay for these. So I did pay at least $10 to $15 for this, regardless of whether it works or not. Because if it doesn't work, you can still get good money for it broken. Oh, excuse me, guys. I am sorry. All right. It's getting a little late over here. Okay, so we have cameras here. $18. It was okay. Yeah, I'll just move on. Some cameras, you gotta look them up. A lot of the German ones do very, very well. Again, Power Rangers do great. This I thought would sell for more. Godzilla stuff does really, really well. Some of the figures I've sold for upwards of $50 and $60 for just small figures. So some of them, just keep an eye out for those. A lot of them, what's the Toho, I believe is the brand, Toho. If you see that on the bottom of a figure that looks like a dinosaur or Godzilla, I would probably just pick that up. You can look it up too, but some of those, especially the older ones, are worth some money. Power Ranger stuff, I honestly don't even know what to call this stuff. There's one guy who works with me, he's like a Power Ranger fanatic, and he just names all this stuff for us. And this was actually, his brother had these like lying around somewhere, and he's like, I was just gonna throw these out here, sell them, and so $25, and these sold pretty quick. We sold a Nintendo 64 only, no cables, no nothing. We do that sometimes because it's just not worth buying all the cables and stuff for it and then shipping it to Amazon. And yes, you can make another maybe $10 out of it after everything's said and done, but you got to lay out more money and more time. And then Amazon, the return rate's higher for electronics especially, so I'm just like So a lot of times we've been listing more and more consoles only because we always get more consoles than wires. So, but if we do have the wires, we will ship it into Amazon with the controller. You can't ship these in without a controller. I used to do that even on Amazon, replacement console only under the listing. But there's the video I have talking about the top 5 mistakes I made with Amazon. And you gotta be very careful. Anything you list on Amazon has to have everything that it says it has in the listing. The only thing you don't need to have is packaging, right? So I don't need to have the original Nintendo 64 box, but I do need to have all the accessories that originally came with it. So same thing, if you're selling a VCR, it has to come with the remote and any cables that it came with when it out of the box that it says in the listing. So you just got to be very careful, because it just takes one person to complain to Amazon and your whole account can get shuttered. We didn't get suspended, but we were like very, very close. I had to give them a plan of action and to Amazon, and basically I had to delist and return to myself 200 to 300 items, and then I had to send back in only the ones that after I re-looked everything up and figured it all out. So it was kind of a mess, and you just don't, just avoid. If you are considering that, you can get a lot more money for things on Amazon. But at the same time, you just got to be careful. That's all. Alan Edmonds here. This was part of that haul video. I got a bunch of them. These sold $80. Got these for either $12 or $14.99. Again, these individually are maybe $2 to $3 each. So as you can see, the auction didn't do as well as I anticipated, but still happy with that. They are out. Oh, and they're also light plate condition. So yeah, they're maybe $1 or $2 each. So that actually is a pretty good price. These are actually really rare. They don't look anything special. They are very, very rare cards. And as you can see, the price that it demanded. And I start most of my Pokemon card auctions at 99 cents. All the PSA card graded cards, basically every card that I'm going to show you today, all started at 99 cents. So the demand is there for these cards if you know how to list them and everything. And it's for a lot of categories. It's the same way. If you list something that's silver or gold and everything checks out and you're a trusted seller, you better be sure that you can start that at 99 cents and it's going to go to at least 80 to 90% of what that value is, that what you can get by it now, and you can really get some good cash flow. Here's another Power Ranger toy that sold. Here's a t-shirt I got. So you always got to look out for those sales. This was from GameStop. It was basically clearanced, and then they had half off clearance. So I got a lot of these t-shirts for $1. I probably got 100 to 200 t-shirts for $1 each from GameStop. I still probably have 20 or 30 of them left, but I sold a lot of them between $10 and $15 each. And there's another one. The book and record sets, I got this in a large auction lot. I wouldn't recommend necessarily buy them, even though it did well. I think the picture, that creative angled picture actually looks really cool, so maybe it intrigued someone to check it out and buy it. So here's those Sonic figures I was talking about. 3 of them here on an auction, sold for $23. I believe we got these for just a few dollars in a bag, along with other things. Here's another one of those PSA cards. Stethoscopes do very well. Depending, if they're a brand name, they do very, very well. So I would keep an eye out for those. Here's those Pokemon lots that did not do as well as I anticipated. Just a DVD. I would look up, not all of them, but a lot of the rock and roll and the concert DVDs do well. Here we go. Plants vs. Zombies figures, the 5-inch ones. Pick those up. There's some that don't do well, and then there's some that do well. You can kind of tell the 5-inch larger, high quality ones. And this guy, like, these are missing. I think this guy's missing an arm. This guy's missing a hand. And again, still $30. I mean, look at that, $40 we got, and then we got these in little bags from Savers, $2.99, $3.99, and it came with all these and more. So really, really good to learn those figures if you're into it. If you're not, it's kind of a drag, but at the same time, it would not hurt to learn some of these things. The number one find that I ever did find, as far as a toy, were these slot cars that I found in a little bag. And I put them on auction, and they went up to $1,000, and I got them for $2.99. So you never know. These were listed for forever. I'm glad they sold. These are like Pokemon stickers, but look at that, just a bunch of stickers sold for $15. Here's a Digimon card, $17. Sorry, I hope the cards aren't boring you today, guys. There's just so much money in so many different categories, and toys and games and video games is what kind of like I'm interested in, and I'm trying to get into the clothing. As you can see, I sold the Alan Edmonds, and I'm getting into that stuff, but until then, guys, it's going to be some toys and stuff, but hopefully you guys are also learning something as well. Here's one of the older binders, and as you can see, there's a little bit of wear there. This isn't in the best condition, but it still demands a high price. These old vintage binders, as long as they're in decent condition, you can get some money for it. And this is the regular one. There's ones that I've sold up to $60 just for the binder. Old vintage Texas Instruments TI-99. There's old Ataris and Texas. There's all these different command modules and consoles, like vintage ones before Nintendo came out. And some of them are worth money, and some of the games are worth money, and some aren't. So these were the ones that kind of aren't. Had these in a lot. They've been listed for a while, but they finally sold. I'm glad about that. Sega Master System. CIB stands for Complete in Box, if you didn't know. I'm not sure what SMS stands for. It's probably something to do with these master system. But anyway, yeah, just when you're listing collectibles, you want to mention and show whether it has the manual and the box. These types of things are collectible as well. There's certain things that sell, just like, for instance, the box only to like a Nintendo system. Some of them, depending on the version, can sell for $100, $150 just for the box by itself. So just keep an eye out for that. Oh, here's some clothing I saw. Peter Millar, I know, is good. This was popped this on my Instagram too. This was from a storage unit. I paid $120 for the storage unit, and then maybe the labor and the U-Haul cost another like $150 to $200, and then so you know, altogether this paid for it all, and I had probably another $1,000 to $1,500 worth of inventory that I was able to scavenge out of that locker. So it was pretty well. This sold within maybe 2 or 3 weeks. It was up for $2.99, and then I had a sale that day, so not bad. Some Nerf guns do well, others not so much. I got a little excited maybe when I was buying this, but yeah, you got to look up the Nerf guns. Some of the accessories sell very well, so you got to check that out. Again, a lot of broken controllers, and what I do is when we put the notes on it, I just leave it on there and take pictures instead of explaining what's wrong, and just show it in the pictures. This one, the button doesn't work, the arrow doesn't work, you know, it doesn't, non-responsive, and whatever the issues are, the people that buy them to repair them really want to know. I mean, it would be much better and more informed for them, and they would feel more comfortable paying and knowing what they're going to get exactly. So just a regular controller. Backpacks are another great section to look into. Sometimes you'll find something interesting. This one time I think I found, what was the brand? Burberry, a Burberry bag for like $10, sold for $100. I don't go through there very often, but when I do, and I should be doing it more, I have found quite a few things. This was one of them, and usually you can pick it up for a few bucks and flip it. Skylanders, I recommend not getting any Skylanders. There's a couple of the newer version ones, the most recent ones that before, I think it's discontinued, but there's some that do okay, and there's some that are rare, but for the most part, these are not worth anything. So I mean, they are, but excuse me. They are, but I've noticed that the prices and the demand is going lower and lower. So I guarantee in a couple months or maybe even a year, a lot of this stuff is just going to be obsolete. So just be careful about that. This is something I got in this, I think I got it in another storage auction, because I did 3 total so far, and I kind of stepped back for a little while. It's just very, very, very physically demanding, and just it takes away my team from listing. So, and I really want to get those listing goals up, so unless we hit like a jackpot locker, it is just not worth it right now until I build it into our business, which I would love to do in the future. I might bring on a partner to do that, and just partner up just for the storage auctions and kind of figure out something with that. That's a whole other story. I'll get into that, but I have a connection for that. So I was thinking, and they have access to trucks, labor, and storage. So that would be really cool to just buy like 20 lockers and then store it, and then slowly, and then I don't have to deal with the labor, I don't have to deal with renting trucks, and I don't have to deal with the storage. If I don't have to deal with those things, then I can just kind of slowly sell this stuff. That would be ideal. And if I could arrange something like that for me and my business right now, that would be amazing. So this is from a storage locker. Sorry if I'm going on tangents. I'm just kind of running, and the whole point of this is to kind of show you my thought process and why I bought certain things, how I sold things. Some of these things I get in lots and I just throw it up and see if it sells, and other things I buy particularly because it is profitable and sells quick. So this was actually part of a lot that we bought. I bought maybe 20 projectors. I don't recommend necessarily getting these. They're kind of annoying to test. You got to test it, then you got to record the filter, how much of the filter has been used in the lamp hours and things like that. And then there's one that had dead pixels. There was one that got damaged in shipment. I mean, some of these things get heavy. They are profitable, but again, it's kind of annoying and clunky and large. AC adapters, I list a lot of them. I sell a lot of them. This one was pretty good. 20 bucks for just a plug. Can't go wrong. And it's just, you know, if you get an electronic that doesn't work, sell the AC adapter. Maybe the AC adapter is worth money. So this is pretty cool. 27 kids chapter books for $49.99. So there are certain genres, or not genres, like series of kids books that do very well, very profitable. This is one of them. Again, this is probably a remote to a VCR that didn't work, or we just got this separately for $1 or $2. I don't recommend getting like TV remotes. Some VCR remotes are good. You just, you know, you gotta figure out, because it doesn't take up a lot of space. If I can list 1,000 remotes and I spend like $500 on it, I might actually do that, you know, because it's pretty easy to list. You take a picture front and back, make sure it's not corroded, make sure nothing's shaking around in there. 99% chance it's gonna work. And then you just take a picture front and back, write the model number. I mean, they're very, very easy to list. And then you can even list them all at a flat price. You can look them up. It would be, I think that would be worth it. And then they're easy to ship. You just pop them in a bubble mailer. So, but that's just the way I think. And it is more time consuming, but also it's low hanging fruit, you know. And if you can sell 10 $100 items, and yes, that's easier. They're harder to source, but they're easier to list and ship. Or you can sell 100 $10 items, right? And that is a little longer to ship, a little longer to list, but as far as sourcing them, you can do that in your sleep. So I kind of mix them both in. I'll pick up this and I'll pick up the $100 skis, you know, or whatever. So this was from the storage locker. We have 4 sets of skis. This is one that's sold so far. At this point, this is all profit. Those airsoft guns, I mean, the Rolex box, we made out on this locker. So I got 3 lockers so far. 2 were okay, and this one was amazing, and this is one of them that came in it. The box did take about 15 to 20 minutes to put together. We put 4 poster priority boxes together, the ones you put the posters in, or the golf clubs, and we were able to piece it together. Again, it took about 20 minutes, but I already knew that when we listed these, so it is what it is. I don't recommend listing any software ever. I only listed this because I knew it would sell almost immediately, and I put it for like half the price that I think I can get it for. So I did pay $11.99 for it. I think you're safe selling brand new sealed software, but for certain brands like Microsoft. But once you get into used stuff, you just got to be very careful. That's all. So, but you should definitely do your own research on that. I have gotten Rosetta Stone removed from me from Avero, and Microsoft Windows 98 or something like that removed from Avero. So I have a strike or two on my account. Or this is a long time ago, but now I really don't mess around with software. I didn't even realize that you weren't allowed to list certain things like that, and so, but now I'm much more careful. So here is one of those Skylanders Imaginators that did sell individually for $8. So there you go. Silverware does very well. Certain brands, I think there may be another one that we sold that did very well, Pioneer Women. But this one's $60. This came from a storage locker. Some cards, another Power Ranger toy, $15. DVD. We mixed the DVD set together. Here's some vintage textbooks from the 30s. Again, this may or may not have been in the completed listings, but we just threw it up. I think it was, but we kind of made up our own lots. So this is cool. This is just a bunch of like weapons from Ninja Turtles. It came in a bag. I saw it in the toys, and I'm like, let me just snag it. It was, I think it was $1 or $2.99. Put it on auction. 7 days later, we made a couple bucks, but I just knew it was a guaranteed sell. So, and we could have gotten more possibly, but it is what it is. So again, system only, $30. DVD that did good. This was something I probably shouldn't have bought. I only bought it because it looked really cool. Had this like really cool shine to it. Anyway, I gotta start looking stuff up. That's when I first started clothing, and I was kind of, I don't know why I got certain things, but I did, and now I'm much more careful. I'm much more careful overall because it is much easier to buy the right thing and take an extra minute than buy the wrong thing and either donate it or list it in your store for just a small amount of profit or break-even price. Then it takes up room. You're taking up time listing it. It's so much easier to take that extra minute and to just make sure that what you're getting is good. Here's another cool vintage toy that I sold for $14. This was a very quick sell. This came in a bag with a bunch of other stuff for $2 or $3.99. Another Hardy Boys is another cool lot that sells quick. These Leapfrog tag pens sell very well. You can also sell them used on Amazon or a collectible, I guess, in the toy category if you're approved. If you are, the Leapfrog stuff sells for so much more. It is ridiculous. You can do some absolute arbitrage between eBay and Amazon if you're approved in collectible Leapfrog used toys. I did that during the Christmas time, and I think I spent $300 and I made $800 or something like that. So pretty cool. I was kind of pressed for time and capital during quarter 4. I really started putting the pedal to the metal around November, and just totally revamping my goals and stuff. So as you can tell, like, these weeks have just been getting better and better. I've had top weeks that I've never seen before. And by the way, if you didn't know, this is my 4th year selling. I'll go over my story, but I learned what not to do. And it took me a while to figure it out. So, cool shirt here. I think this is part of a new with tags lot from Shop Goodwill. I really don't recommend those unless you really know what you're doing with clothing. This came from a storage locker. So lamps sell well too. I mean, this sold very quickly. If you see this for $2 or $3.99, I would have got it, even though it's a little annoying to ship. It's good. Here's a vinyl that sold. Most of our vinyls now we sell on Discogs or Amazon. I have about 400 or 500 vinyls sold on Discogs. I'll do a video one day on that. That's actually very interesting. I really like checking out new platforms. This card is damaged. I mean, it is like creased and it has water damage. It's warped, and I still got $20 for it. So, yeah, can't say much more there. Knowing your niches is really, really important. That came from a storage locker. This was a cool software. This is pretty older too, and it still sells pretty well. This may still be listed right now, or maybe we sold it. I think we sold it and we double boxed it, but it ended, and then I think I relisted it for like $120 or something. I actually got to double check on that. Might lower the price. But this was, I think I spent $25 on it, and it'll definitely sell for over $100 plus shipping. So this was interesting. This guy Figment, took me a while to figure out this guy's name, but it's a Disney character, and apparently stuff from this Disney character, plush and things like that, are very expensive. So I was very surprised. I could not find this anywhere. And his head, you see how his head is tilted? That's actually the spring is a little messed up, and his wing's a little messed up, and he's missing something, and it's still sold for $51. And this is just a bobblehead. Got it for $2.99 from Savers. You can't beat that, or maybe $4.99, but still, like, jeez. Look at this, broken as is for parts. these are all broken. They don't work. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 of them, and they sold for $70 plus shipping. That's not bad. You can definitely, if you pay $10 per console, if it works, you make profit. If it doesn't work, you can at least make your money back. So that's usually what I go by. And again, they're not going to sell individually. You really got to lot them up together in order to get that price, because people would pay shipping once, but they're not going to pay shipping for each individual one. Maybe for the slims because they're a lot lighter. Pogs still sell. I'm sure there's certain rare ones out there or something like that, but in general, Pogs sell decent. So if you see one at a garage sale for $1 or $2 for a bag, you can scoop them up and list them. But these had some cool like Dragon Ball Z and Goosebumps and Power Ranger ones, so I'm sure that's why this did a little better. And this had this really massive slammer, so maybe we could have got more for it, but $15, I'm not going to complain. I think we got it for $1.99. All right. And so the 17th, which is okay, right here. Again, another Pogs lot. Did very well. Some cards. This was just so this came from a printer that we couldn't really sell or wasn't very profitable. We just snagged the cartridge out of it, and the cartridge sold for $25. Old laptop for parts. I think it turns on, but the screen's all messed up. So yeah, I think I got that from a garage sale like 2 years ago. And finally sold. So some of these lots, I mean, these lots, these did very well. So if I would have listed it for $20, I would have lost the money. So maybe it'll just even out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. We'll see. But again, like, yeah, we'll see. So, yeah, I started listing a bunch of stuff at $5. Like, I made a pile of stuff that everything was $5, and I made another pile, everything was $3. So there's a couple things that you'll see here, and much more next week and the week after. Things selling for $3. It's because we list them really fast. We just take pictures quick, and we list it quick, and we know exactly what the price is and what the weight is and everything, and we just have to come up with the title fast. But this was one of them. I just have piles and piles of stuff, and I was able to just put a bunch together. This is another one, $5. Here's another one of those pens. We probably could have got a little more for it. A lot of CDs, some more kids books again. This lot was probably sitting for a while, and I slashed the price. This is from the dollar store, one of these. So $1, $2, $3 to ship. Fees, you're still making, double your money. But again, it's only $1.02 profit. But there are replenishables on retail arbitrage. Let's say this sells once a week, and throughout the entire year, you're making, let's say, $5 a month. You make an extra $60 a year just by keeping this in stock. So if you think about it like that, and let's say you get 10 of those products, now you're making $600 extra per year just by going to the dollar store once a month. It's things like that and replenishables. That's kind of the way I think. Again, it depends on your model, your time, your storage. So I do have employees that help me with this, and it is worth the time to do stuff like that. And I'm trying to build up a huge amount of replenishables, but as I go along that journey, I will be sharing some of it with you. And some of it, I got to be very careful, especially with replenishables. A lot of people aren't sharing that, but I don't want to be like that. But at the same time, you can tank markets and completely, something that was profitable can, affect my business negatively just by sharing it with you guys. So, as much as I'm not going to go too far down this road, but as much as I would love to share absolutely everything with you, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to, I still got to figure that out, but I definitely plan on being much more transparent than most sellers out there. What I might do is just do like live wholesale videos, live retail arbitrage, and just literally look for stuff and give you guys deals. and give you and let you know someone take advantage of it from the video. Sorry, I keep saying movie, from the video, or anyway, I'm getting off track. I'm really sorry, guys. So here we go. Some DVDs do very well, as you guys know. I do a lot of those. Here's another one with the PSPs. You got to look at the model number. There's 1001, there's 2001, and there's 3001, I believe. And the 1001, I believe, sold for 40. This one sold for 60, or maybe they were both 2001. The other one didn't have the battery, but look at that, $60. It's tested, doesn't have the charger. It was worth it just to sell it on here rather than buy the charger for $15 and then ship it into Amazon and make almost the same amount of money. So again, this Game Boy is for parts, doesn't work. Bam, $27. This was incomplete Lego Duplo set that sold immediately. I think we could have got more for it. A vinyl record. So Safari, Schleek, what other ones? Chap May. A lot of these brands for animals and dinosaur figures and stuff like that. Look out for those. Those tend to do very well. Some of them sell individually for a lot. This one, usually I'll put stuff like this in a lot, but hey, $4 for one little figure. Leapfrog stuff, even the older stuff does very well. You gotta look it up. Some of the older stuff does well, some of it doesn't, so just check it out. This is one of those Chapman dinosaurs, sold for $18. This was actually on consignment, so these sold pretty well. Basically, one of the guys who works for me, his brother, he actually recorded a couple videos. He does some videography. Recorded a couple of videos for this YouTube channel, which was cool, and he's actually, I'm trying to use him more and more, and we'll see how it works out in the future. It just saves a lot of time with recording videos and editing and stuff, and I can get a lot more content out. But anyway, he had a computer sitting around, and he's like, yeah, it was just sitting there. And you know, the longer you wait with, especially with stuff that's electronic and technology, you know, the longer you wait, the less expensive these things get. Even just 1 year could drop these prices drastically. So so we basically took out some of the parts, and I think he got like these prices. I'm pretty sure this is almost what he spent on it a year ago. So so yeah, and I just started these at 99 cents, guys. So you know, auctions can do very, very well if you are auctioning the right stuff. So you gotta have stuff that's in demand, and the way to see that is by going to completed listings and seeing how many of them are green. And also, if there's a couple auctions that you see that do very well, you know, make sure you have the same exact thing, and make sure also all the completed listings, a lot of them are green too. You can kind of get a feel for the market. But I saw these and immediately knew that these do well on auction too. So very desirable stuff. I really liked doing consignment. I want to do more of it, and we'll see how that goes in the future. So this this was actually kind of a high rank on Amazon, so we just threw it up here. Sold pretty quick. Here's one of those $3 items. This, I think I was in one of my haul videos. We got this from a comic book store. The guy doesn't want to touch anything online selling with a 10-foot pole. Got this for like $10, I think, and a couple other things. This came from a storage locker. This, oh man, we made the ugliest box to ship this out today. Oh my goodness. At first, this actually supposed to come with a key. I didn't realize, so I messaged them. They still wanted it, and so it took an extra day, and then there was the weekend, so we shipped it out today. But we didn't have the correct box, so we just cut up a box and just kind of wrapped it around it and stuffed it with paper. Very, very, very ugly. So these nunchucks, if you just lot them up, like if I sold these individually on Amazon, I might make $2 profit, maybe $3. So that would be, you know, maybe, honestly, I think like $2 or $1. But here you make more when you sell them in a lot like this, and they do sell quick. Some card lot here. This is actually from Aldi, and I thought I saw the listing on Amazon for it, but I didn't. I couldn't find it when I got home. So so we just listed it on here. I think I broke even on this, but I'm just glad I got the money back. Again, another figure, Harry Potter, sold very, very quick. This was from Savers 2, got it for $1.99. Sorry guys, it's very late here. Well, you guys can see the time. This is late for me. I'm used to what I'm doing now is going to bed at like 10:30 and waking up at 6. It's been working out for me, but woke up particularly early this morning, went to bed late, so I'm a little extra tired. So you see this little first edition thing here that makes the card more rare, and there's a whole, I'm gonna make a whole Pokemon course for those that are actually interested. But as you can see here, these cards look really cool and they sold, but then this card doesn't look cool, but it's like a very desirable card. $20, played condition. I mean, this is like a little, like, not in the best condition. Again, some of these cards like just go to crazy amounts, and these all started at 99 cents, $16, 7, and you know, a lot of these, one person might get 5 or 6 of these. So the actual average sale price per order is actually a lot higher than what it looks here. Okay, one person might get this, one person might get this, but then the next person might get all 4 of these, and now he's spending $20. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I did a lot of rambling, but I'm really trying to show you guys my thought process, and I know I go from one thing to the next, but that's kind of what I'm going to do with these videos. I'm going to try and stick to exactly what was sold and explain to you where I got it, how I got it. But as it brings other things to mind, for instance, you know, different types of toys and different types of sourcing strategies and different things that I want to implement in the business, I may bring those up. If I'm really going off the rails and off track, what I would appreciate you guys doing is letting me know in the comments if this is something that you enjoy, or it's something that, geez, you know, you got to get back on track. So because I'm really not sure. I wish sometimes I love doing the videos with my wife, because she'll be the one to kick me under the table and let me know to get back on track if I need to, and let me go if it's good. So anyway, I'm going to rely on you guys this time to let me know. I would really appreciate that. So that's it for today. I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. It was a great week. A lot of it was auctions. But again, I'm trying to keep, so I will tell you guys the total amount list we have on eBay. I cannot get past 50,000 because stuff sells too fast. So, and I don't necessarily want to increase prices and let it sell slower. The only reason being is some of the stuff I get won't sell, or certain things go down in price as time goes on. So I got to be very careful with pricing. I want to price it at the price that is appropriate, and give a deal to people who want to buy multiple things. So I don't have best offer. I haven't really run sales much. I did run one sale last week, but that was the first time I ran a sale in months. So I have been experimenting with different things, but my encouragement for you guys is to just experiment and just list. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time.